Welcome back to my channel. This is Grace Manzie here, and let me remind you that my channel is all about how I make things for myself. So I'm sharing this information with you so that you can benefit by trying it out yourself from your home, and if it works, just let me know on the comments below, okay? So in this video today, I'm going to be showing you how I made a basic bodice pattern. I'm going to be showing you the measurements, the calculations, and the front part of our basic bodice pattern. The back is going to be in our part 2 of the video. So please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out. Press that red button and also the bell so you can always be notified of the next video when it comes out. First, I'm going to explain the measurements, okay? The vertical measurements as follows. Shoulder to bust, mine is 12 inches. Shoulder to waist, 20 inches. And shoulder to hip, 26 inches. We're going to add 2 inches for the dart. I'll explain this later as we get into the drafting of the pattern, okay? The neck to waist at the front is 16 inches and the neck to waist at the back is 18 inches. This is at the midpoint, okay? At the midpoint of the neck to waist, the front is 16 inches and also the midpoint of the neck to the waist at the back, 18 inches. Please take note of that, okay? Now, the horizontal measurements. The bust circumference, mine is 44 inches. Waist circumference, 36.5 inches. Hip circumference, 50 inches. And my shoulder measurement is 17 inches. Okay, those are our measurements. The measurements that you must take before you start drafting, okay? Now, we go into the calculations, okay? To determine the bust dart, the dart that we're going to put on the side, we're going to get it by getting the difference between the shoulder to waist and the neck to waist at the back. So the difference between 20 and 18 is 2 inches. So my bust dart is going to be 2 inches, okay? I'm also going to divide the shoulder measurement by 2 and I'm going to get 18.5. The armhole sky or the armhole depth, which is calculated by bust circumference over 6 plus 1.5. Mine is going to give me 8.5 inches, okay? I'm also going to do the side measurements. And I'm going to be dividing them all by 4. That is the waist circumference, bust circumference, and the hip circumference. Okay? So starting with the bust circumference, divide by 4 plus ½ inch is, I'm going to add ½ an inch. Okay? Because if you are a curvy person, you need plenty of room. And you can always shape the garment on the side seams. So you need more ease. You can put 1/4 inch if you are small, depending on your body shape really. So I would advise curvy people or bigger people to use ½ an inch ease. And I'm going to get 11.5 there. On the waist, divide by 4 plus the 1 inch dart that I'm going to put on the waist and the ½ inch is, I'm going to get 10.75, okay? And then the hip circumference, divide by 4 plus ½ an inch is, I'm going to get 13 inches, okay? And my bust span, which is 8, divide by 2, I'm going to get 4. By the way, the bust span measurement is the nipple to nipple measurement, okay? So that's the distance between the 2 bust points. Divide that by 2 and mine is 4 inches, okay? So That is all about calculations and measurements. Now we're going to start drafting just the front of our basic bodice pattern, and I've got a single layer of pattern paper here and 2 lines on it. This is the forward line for my front pattern, and this is the shoulder line. Okay, I've just drawn these 2 lines to make sure I'm drawing on straight lines. Okay, you are going to need your straight ruler, your tape measure, a marker pen and a pen, right? A pair of scissors and your curved ruler. Okay, basically with these you are good to go. You can start drafting. Okay. Right, we're going to start by drafting the neckline. Okay, so for the front neckline, the standard is 3 inches. Okay, 3 inches down from the shoulder line. Okay, and 3 inches along the shoulder line, like that. Can you see? Right, measure 3 inches there. Okay, right. Now use your curved ruler to join those 2. That makes your standard neckline. Okay, this neckline can be changed later when you are making designs in the future. You can change it either to a V-neck, curved, whatever whatever shape of neck you like, scoop, you know, off shoulder, all sorts of necklines that you can think of. They are all going to be designed from this standard neckline. The next thing I'm going to do now is the shoulder slope. Now to make the shoulder slope, I need to measure half of my shoulder measurement, which is 8.5. Okay, can you see that? 8.5 there, and then I'm going to mark here, right? Because our shoulders are not entirely straight like that, I'm going to go down 1 inch to make a shoulder slope. Okay, so I'm going to mark here, right? So I'm going to join this point to make a shoulder slope, right? Okay, so that's the shoulder slope done. The next thing I'm going to do is to go down 8.5 inches from here. The 8.5 inches is the armhole depth, which I got by calculating the bust circumference by 6 plus 1.5. So mine is 8.5, okay? So I'm going to measure 8.5 going down, right? So my 8.5 is here, okay? So I'm going to draw a line going down, okay? Like so. Okay, to the 8.5 mark here, all right? Now, after making that point, I'm going to go ahead and draw a straight line along that 8.5 mark. This is going to act as my chest line, okay? Right, it's like that, okay? So this is going to be the chest line. So after drawing this, the next thing I'm going to do is to make the armhole, okay? So to draw the armhole, I need to find the midpoint of this line here. It's very easy. All you simply do is fold that tape measure back to that line, okay? Fold it flat, okay, and then put a mark there. That's the middle or the center of that line, okay? Right, after doing that, I'm going to go in 1 centimeter, okay? I'm going to go in 1 centimeter there, right? Okay, now I'm going to make the sleeve, the armhole, by just drawing a line here as you can see, to join these 2 points, okay, like that, and then turn my armhole curve, and it should sit on that line, joining this end here, okay, and it should be sitting on that line. So you move your armhole curve nicely like that, okay, right. So now I can go ahead and draw the armhole curve like that. Oops, sorry. Okay, there you go. Let me smoothen that line here. Okay, right. So that's my armhole curve there, my front armhole curve. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is to put down the rest of the vertical, the horizontal measurements, right? So, I'm going to start with the shoulder to bust, which is 12, okay? So I'm going to mark here at 12 inches, mark there, okay? And then shoulder to waist is 20 inches, okay? But I'm going to add 2 inches for the dart, okay? Because I'm going to put a side dart on there. It becomes 22 inches, okay? Because I've added 2 inches here, I've got to add 2 inches at the hip as well, and it gives me 28, which is sitting exactly on that line, okay? So I don't have to draw a line, it's already there. Now I can go ahead and draw horizontal lines, okay? Okay, that's the bust line, and that's the waistline down here, okay? So all the way down there, because we are going to have it side dart, right? I can go ahead and label those. That's the waistline, and that's the bust line, okay, and that's the chest line, CL, okay? Bust line, chest line, bust line, waistline, okay? Now the next thing I'm going to do is the dart. So to do the dart, I'm going to measure 4 inches on the bust line, which is my bust span, okay? Measure 4 inches there, and then I'm going to measure 4 inches again on the waistline, right? And then 4 inches on the hip line. And I can go ahead now and draw a straight line. Okay, right. Now to make the dart, I have to go down 1 inch from the bust line, okay, like that. And then 2 inches before the hip line, okay. My dart is going to be 1 inch wide, so I measure ½ inch on either side, okay. So I can go ahead and join those points to make the dart, the front dart, okay. Okay, so that's our dart done. Next thing now I'm going to do is the side measurements. Okay, right. So on the bust line, I'm going to measure 11.75, which is there, okay? 11.75, right, and I mark there, right. And on the waistline, which is the waist circumference plus 1 inch dart, okay, plus a half an inch ease, it's going to give me 10.75, okay? So I'm going to measure 10.75 here. Okay, 10.75 is right there. Okay. And on the hip line, hip circumference divided by 4 plus half inch is going to give me 13 inches. So I'm going to measure 13 inches at the bottom here. Okay. Right, where is my 13 inches? It's right there, okay? 13 inches is there. So I'm going to go ahead and join those points. This point, that point all the way to the chest line, okay? Let me extend this line first so I can be able to draw properly. Right, so okay. Right, the next thing I'm going to do is to smoothen that curve there, okay? It's a bit too curvy, right? So I get my curved ruler, smoothen that out. Okay, now for the side dart, I'm going to measure 2 inches. Okay, now for the side dart, okay, we're going to measure 2 inches down here and mark, okay, and then from that mark, I mark again 2 inches, okay, and then mark the center of these two marks here, that one and that one, okay. Those are the legs, the bottom legs of our side dart. Now I'm going to join a line from the mid point here to this, by the way, this is our bust point, okay. So I'm going to make a line, join those together, okay. Right. Okay, so once that is done, I can go ahead now and make the bust dart, the side dart, which is going to be like this dart here, 1 inch away from the bust point, because we don't want pointy darts, pointy appearances when you put on your garment, okay. Okay, right, so this is our dart here, and that's the midpoint of our dart. Let me put a marker there so you can see it clearly. That's the midpoint of our dart. Okay, so that's our side dart done. Right. So the bonus I have for you, right, this on its own, it's a complete front bodice pattern, okay? But as you can see, right, this line here looks very long, doesn't look normal. But when you put the dart here, fold the dart in place, you see that that line shortens, okay? Fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer that dart to the shoulder, okay? So that you can see that this line, this side here, can be shortened quite easily, and it looks nice as well. And you can also use the front bodice pattern with a shoulder dart to make so many designs, which I'm going to show you later on. So I'm going to transfer that dart to here. The first thing I do is to get the midpoint of my shoulder, okay? Same technique, get those two, bring this, fold it back, okay? Mark the midpoint like that. After making the midpoint, I'm going to join that point to the bust point. Okay, there we go. Right. So the next thing I'm going to do is to cut out my basic bodice pattern. Okay, now I'm going to transfer the dart as I said earlier on. This is how you do it. You cut this dart out, okay? Okay, and then cut along this line here. Okay, as you can see, it just falls back into place like that. Then I can tape it down. Okay, there we go. Right, that is our front basic bodice cut out with a shoulder dart, okay? That can be transferred back to the side by just taking off that tape and joining that back again, okay? So that's our front done. Okay, yeah, if you enjoyed watching this video, why don't you just give it a thumbs up, okay? Any comments, any questions that you might have on observing me making this front bodice pattern, you are free to ask them on the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching.